So in today's matchup, we have Raijin from Pacific Rim Uprising versus Slattern from Pacific Rim. Now I know I've talked about these two kaijus in several other videos going up against Category 4s, but today it's Category 5 versus Category 5. So an advantage to Slattern is size. He stands at 396 feet tall, weighing over 6,750 tons, and he's a Category 5, and he is the bigger Category 5 out of the two, because Raijin is standing at 347 feet, 5,800 tons, and that's definitely considerably smaller than Slattern. While Slattern does edge out Raijin in the size category, the speed would have to go to Raijin because of one scene in particular where you see Raijin rampaging through the city. When you see him jump across the buildings or he jumps on the ground, he's able to leap into one of the buildings. He definitely looks more fast. Just from that scene alone, he looks more fast than even Slattern did under the water, which obviously it's different under the water than on land, but I would have to give speed to Raijin, speed and agility. And as far as the offensive and defensive of the kaijus, as far as offense, I feel like Slattern is a lot better of an attacker. With all the tentacles he has and how he was able to do the formation in Pacific Rim and strike back Striker Eureka, he definitely will be better at the offensive in the attack. And Raijin is the complete opposite, with looking like a more defensive kaiju because he has the shell that closes in, and I feel like that's much more defensive. So while Slattern is the more offensive with the attack moves, Raijin will be more defensive with his shield. And as far as the feats go of what they've actually been able to accomplish, Slattern was able to survive a nuclear blast from Striker Eureka, which is a very big accomplishment. Surviving a nuclear blast is usually known for Godzilla to be able to do that, but the fact that Slattern was able to go through Striker Eureka, slicing him multiple times, and then surviving a nuclear blast inches away from his face is very impressive. And Raijin's feats, he was able to survive multiple buildings falling on top of him. Major buildings that you've seen kaijus, even like Godzilla, who has struggled from a building falling on him. He was able to brush off 3 or 4 major buildings falling on him, which is definitely an accomplishment, even though Slattern's is obviously more impressive because he survived a nuclear blast, but it's still it's still a pretty big accomplishment for Raijin. As far as how this fight would go down, if Raijin and Slattern were both just lined up on land, perfectly balanced scenario, both just lined up, is I feel Slattern, like I said, will use the offensive moves more, like using his tails, very similar to the way the Mega Kaiju used his tails against the Jaegers in Pacific Rim Uprising. But Raijin will be able to use his shell. He'll close his shell and block the blows from Slattern's tails. And I feel like Raijin will definitely be on the defensive most of this battle, which is why I gave defense his strength, because not only does he just look like a defensive kaiju because the shield closes in, but because that's a major weapon, and if he can protect himself, then he might be able to just wear out Slattern in this fight. But Raijin is, obviously, he's going to use his shell. He's going to close it in whenever Slattern's about to attack, but he can't just do that the whole time, or else Slattern will be able to go right up on him and try to open up the shell. He will not be able to do that the whole time if he wants to win this fight, because Slattern, it could give him the chance to go up and try to pry open the shell, and if he's able to pry open the shell, he can easily expose his face and possibly kill him with that kind of play. And one of Raijin's biggest strengths that I forgot to mention was the ability to absorb energy and redistribute it, which would be a very, very big item in this fight, and I can't believe I forgot it. Because if Slattern just keeps attacking his shell with his tails and just keeps striking it, building up energy, that will just make Raijin more powerful, and that is just another reason why, he might prevail in this fight. That is a very big weapon. But as far as who wins this fight, if these two kaijus are both lined up, 2 Category 4s, Slattern has a little more height on him, a lot more size, close to 1,000 tons on him. But even though Slattern survived a nuclear blast, which is a major accomplishment, he has the size on his side, and he has some very good offensive moves. Raijin is faster, his defense is very good, the use of his shell will come in major handy. His abilities of being able to absorb energy and redistribute it is a major weapon, because Slattern can just keep hitting on his shell, and it'll just make him stronger, which is probably one of the biggest attributes in this fight. He was able to survive multiple buildings falling on him. Just with all that said, I just have to give this fight to Raijin. I feel Raijin would win for the abilities he has and what he's accomplished. And because of his defensive moves, he would definitely be able to surprise attack Slattern. And I just can't see Slattern winning this fight. But make sure you let me know down below who you think would win this fight. Make sure you keep letting me know monster fights that I can do next. I know there's a lot that I have to get to. I will definitely try to do all of them eventually. I'll do them eventually, but I'll try to get as many out as I can as soon as possible. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.